For the third row, we have Benjamin represented by a wolf. See Genesis 49:7, where it says Benjamin is a ravenous wolf. In the morning he devours the prey, and in the evening he divides the spoil. Also, Benjamin is sometimes represented by a picture of the temple. The area of the temple in Jerusalem belonged to all of the tribes of Israel. It was not given to any specific tribe, but from a geographical point of view, if you would have allowed the lines, the dividing lines of the borders to continue into the temple area, so the geographical area of the Temple Mount would be divided between the tribes of Benjamin and Judah. Judah in the south, Benjamin in the north, and the border would run through the temple area. So therefore Benjamin is associated with the temple, and sometimes a picture of the temple is given as representative of Benjamin. And we have a verse hinting at this in Deuteronomy 33 verse 20. It says that, according to the English translation, it says of Benjamin, he said, "Behold, may the beloved of the Lord dwell in security by him who sheds shields on him all the day long, and he dwells between his shoulders." We went to the Hebrew original and we reinterpreted according to our understanding of the Hebrew. So we have a slightly different version which does not actually contradict the one we have just read, but it's interesting. It sheds another light on it, one you could say. Says, according to our understanding, regarding Benjamin, he said, that is, regarding Benjamin, Moses said, he is a friend of the Lord. Benjamin is a friend of the Lord. He dwells in surety. God hovers over him all day long, and between his shoulders dwells. So it says here that God hovers over Benjamin all day long, and between his shoulders dwells. What does it mean between his shoulders dwells? As we understand, the shoulders of Benjamin are the hilltops. And the temple dwelt within the hilltops of the area of Benjamin. And this is hinted at in the Bible. And it means to say that the presence of the Almighty is always within the temple area, always in the temple. And this temple was resting upon the mountain slopes, which technically were part of the heritage of Benjamin. We have Joseph then. Joseph is represented by a sheaf of wheat. Joseph was represented by a sheaf of wheat. Joseph, as we find in Genesis 37, Joseph dwelt a dream when he was young. He dreamt two dreams when he was young, which aroused the jealousy of his brothers. So one of these dreams, he is represented by a sheaf of wheat. A sheaf of wheat is a bundle of wheat tied up, left in the field for the people to come along afterwards and gather it up. So Joseph was represented by a sheaf of wheat, and the sheaves of wheat representing his brothers and also his father and his stepmother were around them and bowing down to his sheaf. And so this is used as a symbol of Joseph. And Joseph is also sometimes represented by a sheep. I don't know why, but this is often found. He's also represented by a palm tree. And he's also represented by a vine climbing up a wall. So this vine climbing up a wall is hinted at in the biblical verses. See Genesis 49, verse 22. Says Joseph is a fruitful bough. Ben Porat Joseph in Hebrew. The word Porat translated as bough, like a branch with leaves on it and so on. In Hebrew is Porat, meaning more specifically a large branch of a grapevine with grapes growing on it. So this is used as a symbol of Joseph. It also says it's like a fruitful bough, that is a grapevine or the offshoot of a grapevine, a fertile one with fruit on it, by a spring, growing by a spring. Its branches run over a wall. And so this is how Joseph is represented. The verse continues in verse 23, Genesis 49 verse 23. It says the archers bitterly attacked him. Joseph had enemies. They shot at him and harassed him, but his bow remained firm and his arms were agile, they were strong. From the hands of the mighty one of Jacob, from there is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. Although that the word shepherd is where the word, the name shepherd, connoting connected with Joseph, is where we get the symbol of a sheep for Joseph. At all events, he continues, verse 25, from the God of your father who helps you, and by the Almighty who blesses you, with blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that lie beneath, blessings of the breast and of the womb, and the blessing of your father have surpassed the blessings of my ancestors up to the utmost bound of the everlasting hills. Maybe they be on the head of Joseph and on the crown of the head of the one distinguished among his brothers. Joseph, as we mentioned, was actually divided into two separate tribes, Ephraim and Manasseh. They also had symbols of their own. There were major tribes in their own right. Joseph is represented by, as we said, a sheaf of wool, a sheaf of wheat. Joseph is represented by a sheaf of wheat, whereas Ephraim is represented by a bull, or bull calf. Manasseh is represented by a unicorn. In Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 13, it says, So Joseph he said, Blessed of the Lord be his land, the choice things of heaven with the dew, and from the deep lying beneath, and with the choice yield of the sun, and with the choice produce of the months, the best things of the ancient mountains, and with the choice things of the everlasting hills, and with the choice things of the earth and its fullness, and the favour of him who dwelt in the bush, that it come to the head of Joseph, and to the crown of the head of the one distinguished among his brothers. As the firstborn of his bull, majesty is hid, and his horn is the horns of the unicorn, according to the original Hebrew. With them he will push the peoples together to the ends of the earth. All these are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and these are the thousands of Manasseh. We also find in Jeremiah 31 verse 18, I will surely heard Ephraim grieving, you have chastened me, and I was chastised like an untrained bull calf, in Hebrew, Egel. This word Egel meaning bull calf, and representing Ephraim in Jeremiah 31. Jeremiah 31:18, Egel representing Ephraim, Egel in Hebrew, or biblical Hebrew, also in Hebrew of the Yemenite community, of some Jewish communities. Even the Ashkenazi community may be pronounced as Angle. Angle. The Angles conquered England together with the Saxons and the Jews. They conquered what is now England. And the word England is derived from the word angle. England means angle land. Angle is another way of pronouncing Egel. Even on the continent, the word for angle could sometimes be both spelt and pronounced as Egel. So both in Hebrew and in English, the words were interchangeable. The words for angle and for Egel were interchangeable because they were different pronunciations of the one word. And one word meaning bull calf, and the bull calf was a symbol of the Angles, of the descendants of Ephraim, who settled in England and gave England its name. And it says, like an untrained calf, an untrained bull calf, bring me back that I may be restored, for you are the Lord my God. That is what Ephraim is referred to as saying in Jeremiah 31 verse 18. Zebulon is represented by a ship. Zebulon was destined to be a merchant, dwelling by the sea coast, by the shores of the sea, and earning his living by international trade. In Genesis 49:13 it says Zebulon will dwell at the seashore, actually shores of the sea in Hebrew, and he shall be a Kafayamim. He shall be a haven for ships, and his flank shall be towards Zidon. And we identify Zebulon with peoples who settled in what's now the Netherlands, and they do literally dwell on the shores of the sea, and the only people in the world who do dwell on the shores of the sea, 2/3 of the Netherlands is below sea level, and the land, all of the earth is actually sea land, it is sea sand. Underneath the buildings, 2/3 of the area is like that, and this is where this prophecy has been fulfilled. And we find in the maps of Ptolemy, in the geography of Ptolemy, who lived around the time of the Common Era, the beginning of the Common Era, that there was a people there called Zebulon Goy. Zebulon Goy, Zebulon is another way of saying the name Zebulon, and Goy means people, so the people of Zebulon were recorded as being in the Netherlands. Just worth noting, Issachar is represented by an astronomical configuration showing the sun and the moon surrounded by stars or some other formation, because it says that Issachar, the people of Issachar, were wise men, and that they would show Israel knowledge of the times, tell them what to do according to the times. This was understood to mean astronomical computations, and traditionally the tribe of Issachar was known for this mathematical precision to decide complicated matters of a legalistic and related nature. Issachar is also sometimes represented by a donkey, and we find a reference to this in Genesis 49 verse 14. Issachar is a strong donkey lying down between the sheepfolds. When he saw the resting place was good and the land was pleasant, he bowed his shoulder to bear burdens, and so on. So this is what we have. These are the 12 tribes of the tribes of Israel. These are the 12 symbols of the 12 tribes of Israel. 13 tribes of Israel when Joseph is counted as separate tribes. Ephraim, Manasseh, and Levi is also included in the census of the tribes and the quorum. And we have these symbols, and it's worth noting and being aware of them, and keeping our eyes out for repetitions of this representation. Thank you. This is Yair Davidiy speaking to you from the land of Israel. May the Lord God of Israel bless you and be with you. Thank you.